So those who don't have the periodic table as a print, what we are going to do, we are just going to draw a skeletal diagram over here. Skeletal diagram.
Do we also draw it?
Yes. Just a skeletal diagram, but yes, for labeling, you can use your periodic table which you have printed.
Miss, is it okay if I can like edit it on my tablet?
Yes, yes, yes. Right now, I'm just drawing it for those who have not got the print of periodic table. Okay. A rough diagram.
Progress.
Hello, Sahana.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello. A rough diagram we are going to draw of periodic table. So this is the rough diagram of periodic table. The rough skeleton of periodic table. Okay. Everybody has drawn this rough table. Those who have the periodic table, not necessary to draw it. Those who have the print of periodic table, not necessary to draw, because we are going to label it on the periodic table. Okay, those who don't have the periodic table print, just draw this skeletal diagram in your notebook so that it's easier for you to label the periodic table. Okay. Everybody has done. Daniel, have you? Okay, do it. No problem. Yeah, do it. Take your time. It's okay. And this. Now, this periodic table, which we are learning today, the name of that periodic table is called as long form periodic table. Okay, everybody will pay attention over here, and then I will wait for some time for you guys to write it in your periodic table. So the table which we are going to study is long form periodic table. This table was designed by Henry Moseley. This table was designed by Henry Moseley, scientist Henry Moseley. But yes, it is not the only scientist who had worked upon periodic table. There are many other scientists as well who has worked upon the periodic table, like we have Mendeleev's, we have Newland, but all that is history, which we are not going to go in detail. But this periodic table is designed by Henry Moseley and it is called as long form periodic table. This periodic table has, if you see the columns, okay, if you see the vertical columns, there are 18 vertical columns, 18 vertical columns, which are called as groups. What are 18 vertical columns called as? They are called as groups. How many horizontal rows can you find? Count how many horizontal rows?
7.
Yes. This and this, like if you will count, see, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7. Now somebody will say that even ma'am, this is 8 and this is 9. But this is a part of this row and this is a part of this row. So it's an extended part which is there below. So there are only 7 horizontal rows. 7 horizontal rows, and that rows are called as periods. So in periodic table, we don't say column and rows. We in fact say groups and periods. So that is something which you should understand, that if they are talking about group, which means they are talking about the column, the standing column, the vertical column. And if they're talking about period, which means they're talking about horizontal row. This much, write it in your periodic table. Whatever I have written till now, just write it in your periodic table. So now let us go in detail about learning about groups. Let us understand detailing about groups. So I'm going to write it over here in groups. You can refer to the periodic table which you have, okay? Either you can open it on the laptop or you can open it your phone, which the periodic table I have given it to you, okay, for reference. Otherwise, you can just pay attention over here. Now, when we talk about groups, okay, so everybody will pay attention and then I will give you time to copy. So groups are called as vertical column. How many vertical columns are there?
18.
Yes, so 18 vertical columns. Okay, 18 vertical columns. Now, this 18 vertical column, okay, these 18 vertical columns, they are divided into two groups. If you look at the periodic table, there will be two groups elements. There is called as A group elements, and we have B group elements. Now, which all are A group elements? It is group 1, that is first column, group 1, group 2, group 13 to 18. These are all my A group elements. Group 1, group 2, group 13 to 18. Okay. First pay attention, then I will give you time to copy. B group elements are from group 3 to group 12. So I'm going back to the periodic table. Let's see over here. See, this is 1, this is 2, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. These circles are my A group elements. Okay, which is group 1, group 2, group 13 to group 18. And these ones, the cloud ones, all these are my which elements? All these are my B group elements. Yes. So the whole periodic table is divided into two group elements. One is A group elements and one is B group elements. So just copy this in your notebook. All 18 vertical columns divided into two groups. A group element and we have B group elements. A group elements, okay, one more point. A group elements are also called as normal elements. They are called as normal elements. Whereas B group elements are called as transition elements. So today you have learned something new. A group elements are called as normal elements and the B group elements are called as transition elements. Now, first group, okay, group 1, which is the first column. Group 1 are called as alkali metals. Group 1 or 1A are called as alkali metals. Group 2 are called as alkaline earth metals. So group 1 are called as alkali metals. Group 2 are called as alkaline earth metals. Okay, then group 17. Group 17 means the second last column. Group 17 are called as halogens. Group 17 are called as halogens. And the last column, which is group 18, are called as noble gas. They are called as noble gas. Noble gas, or we can also say inert gas. So, 4 columns we have studied. First 2 and last 2. So we have given names to first 2 columns and last 2 columns. First, alkali metal. Second, alkaline earth metal. Second last column, halogens. And the last column as noble gas. Okay, so we have studied something about groups. Group 1, alkali metals. Group 2, alkaline earth metals. Group 17, halogens. Group 18, noble gas. So from this, what we can conclude? Can I say that first and second group contains all metals, because that's why the name is metals? The last column, group 18, noble gas, means all of them are gas. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, all are gas. Okay? Till here, everybody is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. Then, so this was about the groups, the vertical column. Now let us go for the periods. Okay, let us go for periods. Now, how many periods are there?
7.
7 horizontal rows. Now, period 1. Talking about period 1. Look at the periodic table and tell me how many elements are there in period 1.
1.
1. Check.
2. 2.
Period 1, there is hydrogen and helium, means first row has 2 elements. So, number of elements, 2. Talking about period 2, how many elements in period 2? Count.
8.
6.
8.
8.
8.
Yes, let us go and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In period 3,
8.
yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So both in period 2 and period 3, number of elements are 8. Okay. Let's go to period 4.
Is it 18?
18.
Very good. Period 4 and period 5. So again in period 5, how many elements?
18.
18.
Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So these two, 4 and 5, contains 18 elements. Period 6.
Wait, is it
Also 18 elements.
is it like 20? Wait.
It's 18.
18.
No, because no the bottom rows. Don't you say you
Yes,
add them?
because I told you there is one bottom row which is extended part. So let us check. See, 1.
I think there's 32.
Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 in a row. And I told you that this extended part is this part.
Is it 31?
Over here it is 17, right? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So period 6 is 32 elements.
Period 7 as well.
Yes, and period 7, okay, it's not 32. Period 7 is not 32. There is a reason behind it. Earlier, when I was of your grade, when I was in year 8, or maybe let's say when I was in my 10th grade, there were only 108 elements in the periodic table. Okay, 108. These elements, maybe till all these elements, the one which I'm circling it, these elements discovered later on. These elements were put into the periodic table recently. They are discovered now. So when I was in the school, when I was learning, my periodic table was only till here. Which means that there is a possibility that there can be more and more elements which can be discovered later on. So we say period 7 as an incomplete period. We always say that period 7 as incomplete because we don't know how many more elements will be there. Right now, by looking at the periodic table, you feel that yes, it is complete, but we will still consider period 7 as incomplete period. So please write a note over there, over here, period 7 as incomplete.
Miss, should we write this in our books or on the periodic table?
On the periodic table is also fine. Those who are comfortable writing in the periodic table, they can write it over there. So now some interesting thing to know. Now period 1 has only 2 elements. So period 1 is called as the shortest period. Yes.
Sorry, there was a fire alarm going off. Why is period 7 incomplete?
Okay, period 7 is incomplete because right now, by looking at your periodic table, you will feel that yes, it is complete, but we don't know how many more elements are going to be discovered later on. And we don't know where is going to be the position because earlier, like maybe let's say 10 years back, the period 7 was incomplete. There were no elements discovered. All these elements, like after 108, the elements were discovered recently. So that's why we still call period 7 as incomplete.
Yeah,
Okay.
Miss, for my periodic table, I have the old one, not the new one, so some are missing.
Yeah, so which means that the latest periodic table is this periodic table, which I have given it over here, where all the elements are filled, but still we are not sure whether how many more elements are going to discover, because the research is still going on. It's always an ongoing process. So that's why we consider group period 7 to be incomplete. Okay. Yes, so period 1, shortest period, period 2 and 3, okay, they are called as short period. Period 4 and 5 are called as long period. Shortest period, short period, long period, and period 6 is called as longest period. Shortest, short, long, longest. And the last one we have already written as incomplete period. Shortest period, short period, short period. So shortest, short, long, longest, and then incomplete. So depending on number of elements which are there, we will write the name of the periods. Okay, done till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us understand. Now the below part, the one which is starting with LA, that series is called as lanthanide series. They are called as lanthanides. Okay, the series which starts with LA. So those who have drawn the skeletal diagram over here, they can write over here these as lanthanide series. Okay, and the series which is below lanthanides, means this part, this are called as actinide series. Actinides. Okay, they are called as, over here they can write actinides. Now you know what are actinides? Actinides are those elements which emits radiation. So they are radioactive elements. These elements are generally used in nuclear, there's nuclear reactions, nuclear explosions. So radioactive elements. So actinides are the ones which are used in nuclear power stations, uranium, plutonium, thorium. All these are used in nuclear power stations because they emit radiations.
Wait, which one?
The actinides one, used in nuclear reactions. Okay, nuclear reactions. the elements in the period, majority of the elements are metals. Okay, in the periodic table, majority of the elements are metals. So now I'm going to draw a border line. Okay, I'm going to draw a border line starting from here. So you know this border line, all the elements which are on the left hand side of the border line, all the elements means all these elements which are on the left hand side of the border line, they all are metals. Okay, so over here you can just make one note. Over here you can make one note that elements on the left hand side of the border line are metals. Elements on left hand side of border line, they are all metals.
Wait, miss, I wasn't here. Can you tell me what like that red border thing is?
This border thing is a bifurcation for metals and non-metals. So all the elements which are on the left hand side of the border line are all metals. And the elements on right hand side, RHS, that is right hand side.
Or is it gas?
No, they are non-metals. So right hand side of border line, they all are non-metals. So element on right hand side of border line. So you can just draw this border line in your periodic table. Those who have that skeletal diagram, they can wait.
So we draw that border on our periodic table?
Yes, yes, yes. So that gives you a bifurcation. And now I'm going to color some elements, the box. Okay, you can just, in fact, instead of coloring, you can just do a circle thing.
Wait, what's that? The thing separating like the black line? You see the
No,
black
no, no,
line?
that's nothing. It's red.
Oh.
So I'm just circling some elements as yellow.
Miss, why are you circling them yellow?
Because they are the elements which are metalloids. So metalloids are those elements which have both the properties of metals and non-metals. So this are called as metalloids. So they are just at the border of the border line. So by looking at the periodic table only, if suppose I ask a question that give 3 examples of metalloids. So you just have to understand that, okay, this is the border line and over here is the metalloid. So you don't have to actually by heart. As I told you that they will allow you to use the periodic table. So what are metalloids? I'm going to write it over here. What are metalloids?
Metals and non-metals.
Elements
Elements with metal and non-metal properties.
Yes, very good. Elements with metals and non-metals property. Okay, elements with metals and non-metals property. So these are called as metalloids. I'm actually going to circle it with green because yellow is too faint. Okay. So is everybody clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let us learn something. Can you see all these numbers which are there on the periodic table for each element? Hydrogen is 1, helium is 2, lithium is 3. You know what are these? Remember we have done atomic number.
Yes, ma'am.
So all these are atomic numbers. So your periodic table, which is in the sequence, it is in the sequence of atomic numbers, which means hydrogen is having 1 proton. Helium atomic number is 2, which means it has 2 protons. Lithium atomic number is 3, which has 3 protons. So please write down one note point that the long form periodic table, write down the long form periodic table, the elements are arranged. The elements are arranged in increasing order, of atomic numbers.
Miss, did
Yes.
you write in twice?
No.
No.
She put in then increasing.
Oh.
Yeah. Increasing order of atomic numbers. So there can be one question based on, like, they will give you some names and you have to identify the letter. Like, for example, let's say, suppose if I ask you what is the symbol for beryllium. So you have to look into the periodic table and then you have to identify that where is beryllium and what's the symbol. So beryllium is Be. So as I told you that you are not supposed to remember all the symbols since periodic table will be given to you.
Wait, for some of them I cannot really see it because it's like.
Yeah, that's because the periodic table which I gave you has a very high resolution. So when you take a print of it, it's not very clear. But you can use book or you can use even any other Google periodic table. That's fine, because when you take a print of a very high resolution periodic table, it does not give you that clear picture. Okay, now we are going to learn that there are certain elements in periodic table whose name is derived from Latin name. Like for example, check lithium. What is symbol of lithium?
Li.
Li, which means that from the name lithium, we can derive the symbol. Let's say name of element and symbol. So let's talk about, let's say, lithium. Now lithium is Li, which means
Can you write
the
it down?
no, wait, don't write. So we know that from the name itself, the symbol is derived. Let's say, for example, magnesium, Magnesium, Mg. So the symbol is Mg. Then let's say we have helium, which is He. So majority of the elements, when you write the name, the symbol will be from the name itself. But there are certain elements whose name is not from the word. It is a Latin name. So now we are going to just jot it down, some Latin names of elements.
Is
Okay.
silver?
Like W, for example.
Yes, exactly. So just pay attention and then you will copy. So name of element.
Gold also.
Yes,
AU.
yes. Name of element,
Also
symbol,
potassium.
and the Latin names. So you are just going to learn some Latin names. I'm going to write it down over here. So there are total 11 elements, such 11 elements. The first one, we have Na, the name of element is sodium. The symbol is Na because its Latin name is natrium. Okay, because the Latin name is natrium. Then we have potassium, which is K, whose Latin name is kalium. All the Latin name will end with UM. All the Latin name will end with UM. Then we have next silver, which is Ag, is argentum. Then we have gold, which is Au, aurum. So this is something, an additional thing. Nobody is going to ask. This thing is just for learning purpose. So gold, aurum. Then we have something which is tin, Tin. Symbol is Sn. The Latin name is stannum. Then we have something which is antimony. Antimony, Sb, capital S, small b, stibum. As I told you, all the Latin name are ending with um. Then we have mercury. Mercury, which is Hg, hydrargyrum. Okay, it is called as hydrargyrum. Then iron, Fe, ferrum, Ferrum. Then we have copper, which is Cu, cuprum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Two more. So I'm writing 2 more over here. 10th one, lead, Lead. Lead, Pb, plumbum. And 11th one, last one, tungsten, 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 which is symboled as W, and the Latin name is wolfram.
You have to write all this down.
It's upon you. This is only for your reference. It's only for knowledge. Nobody is going to ask you because it's not there in the periodic table. This is only for your knowledge. So this was something which you need to understand, that yes, there are certain elements whose Latin name, that like the symbol is from the Latin name. Na, sodium is Na. So why it is Na? Because its original name, the Latin name is natrium. Okay. So have you got a better understanding about periodic tables? That in the periodic table, from by looking at the elements, we can actually identify whether it's a metal, whether it's a non-metal, it is present in which group, it is present in which period, then what is its atomic number, what is its atomic mass number. Now, based on the periodic table, okay, whatever we have learned till today, we are going to solve some questions in our next upcoming lecture, where from looking at the periodic table, what kind of questions they can ask and what is the relevance about connection of the periodic table elements with atomic structure. Means if suppose I give you an element whose atomic number is, let's say, 11, then you have to identify what is that element, where it is found in the periodic table. So all that correlation of the periodic table with atomic number, we are going to study in our next lecture, that is on Monday. Okay. So with this, we will end the session over here for today. Okay, I will be sharing the notes and more about questioning and learning about questions on periodic table. That will be our next session on Monday. So with this, thank you very much and wishing you a very nice weekend, and see you on Monday next week at 11 o'clock. Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye, take care, bye-bye.
Why we
Bye-bye.
don't have, oh wait, actually never mind.
Yeah,
Bye.
Monday, Wednesday. Bye-bye, take care.
Miss,
Yes, yes, Krishna.
I just wanted to tell you that on